Here we are with the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of all time. That's in the record books, we can solidly say.
Yes.
Talk to me not only about the reign, but with these things, as we've seen with Cody and Roman, we've seen this about who's going to win, how it ends, and how you bookmark the title reign. How do you feel now that we're a few weeks removed from it? You're moving on to new things, but that is a historic reign. Now it's in the rearview mirror. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm very pleased with it, how everything went out. They handed me the ball more or less with that, and I had a lot of freedom in doing what I want to be. I think to a degree it was a little bit of an experiment for myself because I'm not the typical WWE superstar kind of guy by nature. And it worked out great. It proved that people really enjoy very good professional wrestling, and you can, besides all the bells and whistles that WWE has around the matches, you can still create something that people will remember for a long time just from bell to bell. And that's what I kind of wanted to prove, and that worked out pretty good.
Yeah, that's the thing. I guess this is me speaking as a fan, but there's a perception that the US title and the Intercontinental title were treated as less than for many years. I mean, sometimes it wasn't even on WrestleMania, for instance, and this time it's one of the featured matches. Do you take that as a big victory as well?
Oh, of course. But obviously the matchmaking has a big part in that too. But yeah, I feel like I didn't give them a choice not to treat it as a big deal. And yeah, it was a prize that didn't mean that much for a long time. And once I became champion, it was clear to me I wanted to make it the most prestigious and thing possible, elevate it as high as possible.
I mean, when you hear the reaction for Sammy at WrestleMania, you know you did something well.
Oh yeah, it's I was really happy with how everything went down, and yeah, it was important for me to finish it in the biggest possible way, and that was achieved. So I think, and to losing to somebody like Sammy that I've shared the ring with many times, even like a decade before WWE, was a great experience. He's a fantastic wrestler. I knew we would be able to put on a really good wrestling match, and yeah, everything worked out how I would have imagined it before.
That history is now tied to Gunther, but once upon a time, a lot of history was tied to Walter. We're in the UK right now, NXT UK guy, as I was. Great history with that name. Piper Niven has gone back. Pete Dunne has gone back. But would it be harder for you to go back right now?
No, I moved on from that. I think going back is almost almost like a sign of a lack of confidence or weakness. I don't know. I always feel like once you make a decision to move on for something, you got to stick with it. Going back is kind of a little bit, it's a step back, almost like what it says. I think it's well established now for who I am, and especially to the audience in America. Yeah. So taking that away again, I think there's a romantic aspect from a lot of fans that followed me in the past. Mm-hmm. But I think that's not the majority of people that follow me now. So it wouldn't really make sense as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I can understand that. Talking about your history, that reminds me that Berlin is coming up. What is the plan for Gunther heading into Berlin? Has to be a world title shot, no?
Ideally, yes. Berlin is a very important date for me, especially for guys like myself. I mean, we went WXW all the years before, building our careers. It was always we would literally, after the events, when we would cut the go-home promo for the live audience, we would always say, we're here and we work really hard to establish this sport in Germany again. And now we're basically there. I think, obviously, there's one of the main reasons why that show in Berlin is happening is because there's German-speaking talent now. So I'm really excited for that. That's very important for me. But just in general, how the amount of dates the company is doing in Europe right now is crazy. We have so many dates and so many sellouts. This tour right now, every town we go, it's a complete sellout. I think the business is hotter than ever, and to be part of that is absolutely fantastic. But obviously, I would say, out of your lens, August is not that far. For me, August is still very far ahead. There's still a lot of things before that. We have the King of the Ring coming up. That's something that I'm very interested in to be a part of. I love tournaments. So yeah, there's still a lot of work to do to walk into Berlin in the position I want to.
Like tournaments, would you like a G1 equivalent or something like that in WWE? Would that be cool?
Oh, I think that would be cool. Yes, I think we have a fantastic roster. We have a very deep and big roster. I think that would definitely be something that's interesting on paper, at least. It's always the question: how does it transcend to the audience, especially over in the States? It's a more sports-driven concept. But yeah, let's see. I'm excited for the King of the Ring to see how that's going to look, and we'll see what the future brings with that.
The match people have spoken about ad nauseum is yourself and Brock Lesnar. He's still with the company as Triple H established at WrestleMania. We haven't seen him for a while, but there were rumours and reports that this was a matchup that was penciled in for this Mania. Did you hear anything about that?
Of course, I heard something about it. That's a match that I always saw Brock kind of like as my final boss. Like I always get portrayed as that, like in whatever, like as the NXT UK champion, as the Intercontinental champion. I was like the final boss of that division, and Brock for a long time was the final boss or the end boss of the whole company. So I always saw myself in my future to be in a similar position as he is, and to be that, you gotta get in the ring with that guy. We'll see. If there's a chance for it to happen again, I'm more than up for it. I think it's the biggest possible challenge for me. But how the situation is exactly right now, I'm really not that informed about it, to be honest.
I mean, we might not know why, but just the idea that it was being considered might be exciting for fans.
Yeah, very exciting. I think we had that one face-off in the Royal Rumble. The reaction that was there for that was a confirmation for me. That's like, okay, that's something people really want to see, right?
Did you speak to him after that at all?
Actually, no, I didn't see him at all after that anymore.
I'm sure you both felt the money-making moment. I just wanted to finish on Triple H, really, and how that's working out for you with where he is now. Obviously, such a pivotal role in your early days with the company. I think a lot of us saw you at Survivor Series a few years ago. And I think you've gone on record yourself saying it wasn't the most fulfilling appearance, perhaps. Is it a totally different landscape now for you under a Triple H as opposed to Vince McMahon?
Oh, it is. And I think one of the reasons why I didn't want to go to the US for a long time was just like because the Raw and SmackDown under Vince's vision under that time was something that was never appealing to me as a wrestler. It was just not what I was interested in. I'm a throwback, and I like to have my time for my matches, and I like to have the focus on what I do in the ring and not, the bells and whistles around it. And that experience back then was like almost a confirmation for that. I gotta say, my career kind of like got really lucky. Always had a good relationship with Triple H, and a lot of things fell in place at the right time for me. And with how everything is run now, I think it's way more modern. I think it's more intelligent in like placing certain talent and showcasing their strength, basically. So it's a very exciting time, and I think our fans can feel it's like a breath of fresh air, right?
Yeah, definitely.
It's fair to say you share a vision.
Yeah, in a certain regard, for sure, yes.